What's good, y'all? You dub back here in the tail end, almost y'all at the end of 2019. We are here. We about damn near made it. Let's get it. Now, Merry Christmas to y'all. Hope y'all had a blessed one, happy one. A lot of folks seem, it's a beautiful time of year. Love this time of year. Y'all see this title? Yes, finally. I know, right? Finally. I have made the promise of this video for, jeez, bro, almost 2 years I've been promoting that I'm going to do this video. But there was a lot of reasons why this one specifically I've held off for so damn long. Not gonna lie, I intentionally held off on it. And I had to make sure, and along with other series of videos, I wanted to make sure that I was as well informed and as knowledgeable as I could be. Okay. Also, there were plenty of other videos that came up, and there have been multiple times, probably about 10, 11 different times, I've considered doing this video, but I'm like, no, bro, no, it's not the time. But we almost at the tail end of 2019, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get this ball moving. Let's get this thing rolling, and let's talk about what other people are not talking about. Let's talk about real MMA, real mixed martial arts, you know, cross disciplines. Let's analyze what are better. And you can always, I want input and I want y'all and I want any fans, any subs, anyone's. If you have any suggestions, let me know because I will hopefully get back to you on that matter. All right, y'all. Bare knuckle boxing versus pro boxing. Now, I want to get two, maybe three disclaimers out the way. Depends on what I consider. First of all, why are most bare knucklers considered pretty much amateur and no chance against a pro boxer? Well, most of them is because most of them are amateur fighters. Most of them don't have the prerequisite proper training and knowledge. Secondly, okay, so there might be three or four actually. Secondly, you do realize if you actually do your research, your due diligence in five things. I knew there would be more disclaimers that I had to educate the people on this. Secondly, pro boxers do fight bare knuckle in certain cases. It's been done, especially if it's prize fighting, if it's for money. They do that. It's especially over in Britain. It's a known thing. So not all there are levels to this. Just like in pro boxing, you have your scrubs, you have your prospects, your journeymen, you have your world championship fighters, you have your legends, you have your Hall of Famers. That's just the nature of the beast. There are always levels to this in everything that you do. Um Thirdly, how professional are the bare knucklers? Are we talking about guys who just go out there and duke and throw fists? Are we talking about guys who legit either do this professionally or guys who, hardened fighters, real fighters? So that take that in consideration. Not everybody's a fighter. That's just the reality. Just like not everybody's a carpenter, not everybody's a steel worker, not everybody's a professional athlete, not everybody's a rocket scientist. So don't expect just because you see a bare knuckle fight that means they're bare knucklers. Keep that in mind. Fourthly, understand the tradition and history. There's legitimate bare knuckle styles of fighting, and then there is crap. Just like there are legitimate pro boxing styles, the myriad of cases they may be, and there's crap. You see it in MMA all the time. You think some guys, just because they did it in the gym, they think they can come out here in the octagon of the ring and show up, and they get embarrassed. Or somebody, who doesn't have a lot of experience in that field in a CM Punk comes out here and fights guys who've been doing this. Experience doesn't matter. And lastly, take into consideration that some people are naturally just more gifted. Okay. So when I'm doing this, I'm looking at the styles themselves, peak versus peak. And we're going to make a determination here or do our best to make one. And if you come to a different conclusion, please, by all means, we can debate down in the comment section. Please be civil and respectful, and let's get to it. Most of the cross discipline, I won't have that disclaimer because most other ones you don't hear this kind of rhetoric come out from. But as I do with all my death matches for the most part, or my matchups, I have a few categories and then multiple subcategories underneath each of them. Starting off with, we will begin with the attack category as we always do. Physical strength, okay, combat speed, techniques, and destructive capacity slash power. In this case, it'll be more so punching power, since we're talking about people that rely on their fists. Now, when it comes to physical strength, neither so much relies on it. But what I will say is it's just fascinating because you could say this is individual, but on the one hand, a lot of boxers, you could say, well, you would expect them to be physically stronger. Not necessarily. I'm talking about pro boxers, excuse me. A lot of pro boxers, you would expect them to be physically stronger. Not necessarily. When it comes to bare knuckle boxing, there are a few different rule sets. For example, in the bare knuckle fighting league or fighting championships, I forget, yeah, bare knuckle fighting championships, the professional league that you see some various boxers and MMA men and women fighting in. They allow for horse collar ties, and so you might get a little more wrestling there. You might scrap on the close and whatnot, or fight in a very enclosed encounter. So being able to, you know, a lot of the successful guys are stock year built kind of guys, or they are guys that got a little weight, kind of some of them even got guts to them, and you will be like, damn, that wouldn't be successful. But no, when it comes to bare knuckling, strength does play a part. Also, considering the fact is now you may have wraps or you might not have wraps, whatever your preference is. But considering the fact is you got to be careful because you can break your knuckles. Okay, um, you can break your wrists and stuff. So if you get your opponent on out of there, landing a solid punch with power instead of repeated, kind of like some styles of the Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. or Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, it's more beneficial to get your opponent on out of there. Okay. Now you don't have to fight like that. You can fight with a more agile gypsy style, but we'll get into that in a later field. But overall, I would probably say the average bare knuckler is probably physically stronger because if you're talking about at an elite level, is probably physically stronger because he has to be. Also, some of his opponents are just big, bulking dudes. Okay, like when it comes to a lot of pro boxers, like go even the heavyweights, you don't see many big dudes and in weight because of the amount of time in the ring and because of the way that they fight in the pro ring as opposed to bare knuckle weight, like seemingly unnecessary weight, as I like to say, is not beneficial. Okay, prime example, Andy Ruiz Jr. You don't want to see that. Butterbean never really competed for world titles like that. Okay, love me some Butterbean, but let's be honest. Muhammad Ali at his peak was at like 120. Iron Mike was in like two something. Rocky Marciano when they had a lower weight limit, he was like 190. See what I'm saying? Big George Foreman, even he wasn't that big. Deontay Wilder's not that big. Okay, Tyson Fury, as far as I know, is not that big. So physical strength plays more in part, believe it or not, in bare knuckle boxing in general. Of course, there are some styles that may favor if you have more of Roberto Duran's Hands of Stone style, his kind of grappling, you might have it, or Big George Foreman, but that's more natural strength than anything. So I give the slight advantage in physical strength to the bare knucklers. Now, when it comes to combat speed, this one I favor generally the pro boxers. Why? Because they train for speed. You got to have the hand speed. You got to have the. When it comes to bare knuckle, it's it's more about angles. It's more about movement. It's more about timing and catching that person coming in. It's a more timing game. The way that Conor McGregor, the notorious Conor McGregor fights, a lot of people don't understand his boxing comes from a bare knuckle boxing standpoint. He has other disciplines such as more of a taekwondo and a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but he comes with bare knuckle. When you look at Tyson Fury comes from that bare knuckle. Okay, you look at a lot of the like the first I think George Sullivan was the first heavyweight recognized under the modern Queensberry rules. Come from that bare knuckle style. Okay, you see that, and the way that the fist, the different stuff, it's a different type of movement. But you don't have bare knuckles. You don't see a guy like Floyd bare knuckling. Too fast. Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay? Take your pick. And then you could probably think of plenty of other dudes. Look at some of these bantamweight guys and these flyweight guys. Okay? They just quicker hand speed, quicker movement, and things like that. Quicker footwork and stuff. Because they have to be. Um, you know, a lot of them, I'm not, some of them have longer fight careers, but they're fighting up. You never know who you run up against. You can run up against a bomber, and I will get to reaction time, but the footwork's got to be in. Even Iron Mike Tyson, his movement was so damn fast because it's a game of seconds in inches and fractions and the quick movement and bam. Okay. When it comes to bare knuckling, you're keeping your distance. You're looking at the range. You're looking at it, and then you see the perfect opportunity, and bam, you strike pinpoint. Okay, it's more about pinpoint accuracy as opposed to speed. It doesn't mean a bare knuckler can't be fast, but speed, just like with physical strength, the focus is different. Now, when it comes to techniques, OGs, the thing that a lot of people don't understand, I'm gonna start with pro boxers. Okay, a lot of people don't understand is if we're talking about an all-out fight, kidney shots aren't legal. We're gonna make them legal. All the illegal blows, elbows, headbutts, low blows. Pro boxer has a whole range to fuck you up. And lack of you can get messed up by a pro boxer. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. People gonna be like, well, the leg is 3 times more powerful than the kick. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff to make a kick be effective. But let me tell you, if you land a good hook, you ever been hit by a good hook, a good uppercut, that will drop your ass. Now, when it comes, so you have all the bowl punch, gazelle punches, jab, cross, straight, uppercut, various types of hooks and stuff. And I mentioned the four other things. When it comes to bare knuckle is fascinating because on one hand, it has the similar base because boxing is boxing. It comes from boxing. In fact, bare knuckle boxing predates modern boxing or pro boxing. Okay, you have your jab, you have your straight, you have your hook, and you have your uppercut. The thing being is that it's a lot more awkward and you're going to have some funky angles. If you think you can just come out and fight the way that you do bare knuckle like a pro boxer, you're going to get fucked up. Unless you have someone like Iron Mike Tyson. But Iron Mike Tyson is a grandmaster of boxing. I mean, if you watch his movements in Eat Mom as Frank, come on now. Come on now. You've seen his movements even at his older age. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. You talk about the legends. They can move. But a lot of those guys, Iron Mike was taught by Cuz D'Amato, and he took from old timers. He took from Jack Dempsey. He took I believe Floyd Patterson as well. So which some of those elements are from bare knuckle. So when it comes to techniques, I think they're on par. Again, it comes to the matter of the user and things, but I think they're relatively on par because they come from the same base, and it's just the fighter's personal style as well as what the objective of the specific fighting style of the fighter is. But there are differences because there need to be differences. But overall, neither is more effective. I mentioned Tyson Fury. He uses some bare knuckle aspects in his game, and he's obviously world champion level. You have a guy, Deontay Wilder, and while I wouldn't say he's inherently a bare knuckler, you tell me he couldn't be effective as a bare knuckler. Just saying. Okay, so there it is. Then of course you got Joe Calzaghe, right? Classic boxers, just boom, boom. Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, classic boxing, boom, boom. So, that's just what it is. Now, when it comes to power, overall, I would, especially if we're giving them gloves, I would definitely favor the pro boxer because they're allowed to get power. And again, when it comes to, I'm not saying bare knuckle boxers don't have power, but they don't train for it. And, it's just a different animal. You can't unleash the amount of power. You're gonna shatter your hands, whether you're wrapped up or not. But when it comes to gloves, you're allowed to boom, boom. But don't try to do too much because you still break a hand. Okay, you still messed up, get bruised and everything. But it's just a different game. Plus, like I said, overall punishment. It's just a different focus when it comes to bare knuckle. Don't think if you try to come in there with power, you're gonna get slept. But when pro boxing, you better come in with some kind of power or you're going to get slept. So it's just a different environment. So overall, I would say, let's see, physical strength goes to bare knuckle, combat speed goes to boxing, techniques are even, and when it comes to power, boxers. So as kind of anticipated, pro boxers have the advantage in the attack category. In the defense category, we have reaction time, we have durability, stamina, and agility. Okay, reaction time. Who's better? They're even, bro. There are some bare knucklers who are just snakes and know how to position themselves and have weird angles that you'll look at and you just be like, bro, they'll switch stances up and different stuff. They'll present you all kinds of angles that will frustrate you to no end. And there are some boxers who are just naturally a Floyd, and Muhammad Ali. You're just like, bro, he can't hit him. You just can't hit him. Or Mike Tyson, they're bobbing and weaving. You just can't hit him. Or look at Tyson Fury, who is hard as hell to hit. See what I'm saying? So they're even. They're boxers. At the end of the day, they're boxers. You need to be able to reaction time. The whole point of boxing is to hit and not get hit. And many just take that philosophy to the nth degree. There was a Prince, and I see. There's been a lot of guys who just had phenomenal reaction time. When it comes to durability, this one's a tough one. As you can see, the pause. I will give the slight edge to pro boxers, and here's why: because of the amount of punishment they take. Now, there's some pro boxers who don't cut it, but they're also going against more power. When it comes to bare knucklers, they're not usually going against the same level of power. So I will give the slight edge to to a pro boxer. When it comes to stamina, believe it or not, I'm going to go with the bare knuckle. Here's why. Old school bare knuckle, and as opposed to more so today, old school bare knuckle, you went till there was a winner. The old school boxing, if you drop, you just went. You just went. If we're talking about the greatest of the greats when it comes to bare knuckle, they can fight for a long ass time. They train for a long ass time. They also aren't gassing themselves by throwing too many damn punches in a contained time frame. They could fight for hours. Now, you have a fighter like Floyd, he can fight casually 20 rounds, fight over and out. But when it comes to it, I've seen too many boxers just get gassed. Some say they fight too long, blah, blah, blah. Listen, bro. Listen, bro. Part of being a boxer, you got to have stamina. Just the nature of the beast. If you're professional, you got to have stamina. So it's not a huge gap, but noticeably, I'll give it to the bare knuckle. Even though most bare knuckle fights end quickly, like Mike Tyson fights, still, you gotta have the stamina in order, because you don't know how long the fight's gonna go. When you're knuckling up, there's a lot of feints. If you never bare knuckle, there is a hell of a lot of feints. A hell of a lot of all of that. And all of that takes energy out of your ass. Now, what I will give credit for pro boxers, you swing them gloves, especially them heavier gloves, ooh, they will take a hell of a lot out of you. So there's that. You gotta have a hell of a lot of stamina regardless. But at the top levels, I'll give a little bit of an edge to the bare knuckler. And when it comes to agility, even there are some more agile guys on both paths. So defensively, I have to say that they're even, because once again, reaction time even, durability I give the slight edge to the pro boxer, stamina I give the slight edge to the bare knucklers, and when it comes to agility, they're dead. They're dead even. That's probably the most even of the categories thus far. Now, when it comes to strategy, we have location, it's your environment and all that. You got your fighting style and you got your fighting IQ. Okay. Location, location, location. In some fights, location doesn't matter because there are no noticeable advantages. But location, does it matter? Absolutely. If we're fighting in an enclosed environment, I give the edge to the bare knuckle. Now you could say, but wait a second. I thought you said that the pro boxer has more power. The pro boxer is also used to a larger ring. When I saw it enclosed, I've seen some bare knuckle fights happen in a haystack that's just like a hay cornered off kind of thing, bales of hay, and to where you don't have any room to dance. You don't have any room to escape. You there. It's almost like an Irish. I forget what is it, Irish stand up. I can't remember. Irish knuckle. Like you're pretty much fighting just blow for blow. And most boxers aren't used to that kind of thing. Now, boxing rings are pretty small, considerably, if you're used to more area. But if you're used to the boxing ring, of course, I get the pro boxer advantage because he's used to that. If you're in a more open, flat plane, like in a where you can move pretty freely, um, in like a hangar, airplane hangar, or a warehouse or something where it's a pretty cleared floor. Not indefinitely where you can just run, but in pretty cleared floor, I give it to the bare knuckler. If you're on the street, you're in an alley. Again, I give it to the bare knuckler. Bare knuckle is an evolution of anywhere. The only area I really give the advantage to, the only location I give the advantage to the pro boxer is in the boxing ring because that's where it derived from. You know all the rules. Plus, in other environments, there are no ropes. Okay, you get backed up against the wall and stuff. You can't do like no rope a dope or nothing like that. You get fucked up. So that's just how it is. Bare knucklers can fight pretty much anywhere in a freaking cornfield, in a meadow, parking lot. You could fight potentially anywhere as a bare knuckler. Okay, so keep that in mind. When it comes to fighting style, now bare knucklers, I'll say there are four basic fighting styles. Boxing, there are too many fighting styles to even begin. There's probably at least 100, and I might be missing some. So overall, boxing has more variety, but I'll stick to bare knuckle to keep this simple. Bare knuckle, you have what I consider the gypsy style, the Irish style. Okay, to where it's kind of hands out again. Look at a Conor McGregor. Look a bit like Tyson Fury the way that he fights. It's hands out. It's quicker to reach, to bat away, to play mind games. Another classic style is the classic brawler stance. All right, boom, boom. It doesn't mean that they're not skilled. It allows for short, compacted, quick. These are usually for your big boys. Okay, for your stocky, your refrigerator bodies brothers. Okay, your Brock Lesnar, Rocky Marciano brothers. All right. So there's that. There's the guys with boom with clubbing shots, as they say, just destroy your ass. Um, then there's the more, I would say, classic pugilist style where look at that, just kind of fight with a big distance. You see this more with bigger, like taller guys. So there's that. Then let's see, what is the last style I would say I've seen. Um, there's more so my style where it's it's kind of, let's see if I can do this correctly without moving the camera too much. kind of kind of a classic oriental martial arts where it's to the side. You still might have your classic boxing stance a little bit, but it's more so you're not kind of square. Okay, so for those who don't know, in the basic footwork of boxing, it's let me s- I don't know if I can be able to do this without moving the camera too much, but there is you have if you're orthodox, you have your right foot behind, to the side a little bit, and it's kind of a square position, and you move like that. Some people don't go by that because they're doing unorthodox footwork, usually your speedster guys, but you're taught to have a specific base, and you're kind of having your left foot to where it moves, and then your right foot moves there. It's a step process. Move the right, move the left. You're supposed to keep a kind of like that, and if it's southpaw, it's like that. You're supposed to keep a kind of base in your movement and where you can pivot and different stuff and do all your stuff from there. Now your quick guys, you can move that, and again, you can do kind of broken rhythm and different stuff that more advanced techniques, but you have a base. When it comes to bare knuckle, the time style I'm talking about is if you see somewhat of a car attacker, but there is horse stance in a few different ones, of course. Taekwondo, where you're off to the side and you can hit them all kinds of ways and different stuff, and it allows for you both offensively and defensively shifting, being able to be ready for stuff. Plus, you can easily quick fluidly shift to the other side. Could be if you're like me, who's a switch hitter and has just as much power in one hand or both. I'm not saying I'm a power puncher, but I have just as much hands. So for me, it's more quickness. Bam, 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 bam. Or to throw something out real quick to be an intimidator, like whoa, or to see, oh, they didn't even react to that. So if I want to, I can mess them up. A lot of times, if it's just a street fight or something, I can call something off because I'm like, bro, you can't, you're not about that. So those are the four different types: the brawler type, the kind of gypsy style, the pugilist style, and the traditional martial arts off to your side kind of style. Now, when it comes to fighting IQ, the highest levels of boxers are geniuses. They are fighting geniuses. I mean I can name the names, but y'all probably know who they are. And if they're not fighting geniuses, they are hair off of fighting genius, or they do some things that are damn near fighting genius. Go all the way back. I would consider Rocky Marciano. I would consider the Brown Bomber Joe Louis. Of course, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. I would consider Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. Damn near fighting genius and or very high and Deontay Wilder. If you think in more recent times, you take your pick. Very high fighting IQ when it comes to Lennox Lewis, Iron Mike Tyson, fighting genius. They're just super high. When it comes to bare knucklers, the ones who do it, they're real warriors, and they're intelligent as hell as well. They're intelligent as hell. Um, I mean, it's very difficult because most of y'all won't recognize the names. But if you go watch bare knucklers and the ones that know what they're doing, they get guys out of there quickly, and it's not a fluke. Like their timing, their precision, and any of the styles that I presented like this, they just they just are machines. And you're like, bro, how is that dude work construction? You just came out here and just rocked your shit. He just rocked that other guy and just dropped him like it was nothing. It's like, bro, how is he not pro? Like these guys are legit, bro. So overall, how do I determine who wins this fight? Oh man. Um shoot. I almost want to say draw, but I can't do it. It's so tight for me. This is like the tightest it gets. This is splitting hairs. This is why I didn't do this video for the longest time. Because on one hand, you can easily make the argument for the pro boxer, but I'm gonna make the argument for the bare knuckler. And you'll be like, wonder, wait a second. You made so many points for the pro boxer. Here's the thing: street fight location. Okay, they were so close that something fighting IQ similar levels. Fighting style, yes. While there are more myriad of fighting styles in pro boxing that you'll see, the thing is there's a base. Plus, not only is there a base, you're taught to look for certain things. Okay. As a boxer, that's just what you are. You're trained. Most boxing styles are trained to deal with certain problems. They're not trained to deal with every problem. The great ones are able to overcome those weaknesses and are able to adapt. But boxers' adaptations take a long time. When you're in a bare knuckle fight, you don't, some of them can end like that. Some of them can be stretched out. When it comes to bare knuckle, you don't have a training camp. You don't usually have tape. You come in and fight who you fight, and you fight where you fight. and you fight in your footwear, whatever shoes you got on, you fight that. You might fight a guy that got a shirt on, you might fight a guy that doesn't have a shirt on. The point is, you could be fighting, and another thing is, there are no real weight classes when it comes to bare knuckle. Okay, in professional leagues, of course, you're gonna have weight classes, reasonably so. They're professional. That's just what they do. But you could be 165 fighting a brother who's got 100 pounds on you, potentially. So that's one of the things about bare knuckle boxing. You don't have that. You don't have a Floyd Mayweather fighting a Deontay Wilder, or you don't have that. You don't have Canelo Alvarez fighting an Inoue. You just don't have that. Okay, so those kind of things. And while you heard me say about power coming from the boxer, that power doesn't always translate. The only people that power might translate is the heavyweights. But again, heavyweight is a pretty much open division. See what I'm saying? It has no weight limit. So there's that. So I give bare knuckle I get them 51-49, but it's like more really 50.5 to 49.5. Like it's so damn close. It's splitting hairs at that point. I think either can win, but I would pump my money on the legends of bare knuckle over the legends of pro boxing, even though I love them and consider many of them the greatest fighters of all time. It's just that bare knuckle, unfortunately, we don't really get to see. And usually we only see washed up folk or folk who don't train bare knuckle, man, or don't really fight bare knuckle. And it's sad. And I think it should be a thing. But tell me your thoughts. I will definitely love to hear. I know some will disagree. Listen, just look at the whole gamut. Don't just laugh it off. That bare knucklers don't know what they're doing. Unexpected wonder, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this subject. And until next time, y'all have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.